Hey, it's your boy Belly. Welcome back to the channel. And it's about time, man. We got some Democrats coming back around to logic and just reality, man. It's kind of refreshing. I thought everybody on that side was lost, but man, shout out to this brother right here for speaking some logic, man, and some common sense for once in the Democrat side of the aisle. Let's get into the video.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for that reminder. I rise today despite the uncomfortability of this vote because for me, it comes down to whether or not kids should be able to get these surgeries. And despite the fact that I am a liberal, despite the fact that I believe in non-discrimination for trans people, for gay people, for queer people, and that I will fight until my
Hold on, so queer and gay isn't the same thing? Like, I never knew that. I thought queer and gay was the same thing, man. Somebody in the comments, please let me know the difference. I thought it was always the same thing. I guess they just, Democrats, though, they like to change definitions of words and shit. So,
very last day, until they are recognized as human beings. The question before us is whether or not
I see, it be the little stuff with them, man. It be the little stuff like, who isn't seen as a human being? Like, we even treat cats and dogs with decency. So, who isn't being seen as a human being because we have problems with them in their self-destructive, like, activities and shit, in their self-destructive ways? Of course, I'm gonna be against somebody cutting something off of their body that's gonna hurt them health-wise. It's only the logical thing to do. Just because you want to support people and see them as human, don't mean you have to agree with them being self-destructive and harming themselves. I I never get that part of a Democrat brain.
not children under the age of 18 should be able to get these surgeries. And I, despite being a liberal who believes in those human rights, do not think that is the case. And when the question is put before me, and I spoke to people until 11:30 last night, lobbyists, different stakeholders, people with firsthand experience, lived experience, and I've been speaking to people for the last 4 weeks about this bill. The only argument against it being that this opens the door, the amendment specifically opens the door to other bad trans bills. But folks, the slippery slope fallacy I don't think applies here. We're talking about whether or not kids should get these surgeries, and they should not. These are irreversible
Facts.
surgeries. And despite the fact that there are medical exceptions, which are included in this amendment, when people have problems with their genitals that need to be addressed, that should be addressed. But when we're talking about whether or not kids should get these surgeries, I think that goes a bridge too far, and I will not be signing on to that. So I will be supporting this amendment, and I appreciate the work done in the Health and Human Services Committee. They worked very diligently, and if you want to watch legislating being done in real time in a really good way, I would recommend that you watch the committee hearings on this bill, the work session on this legislation, because they diligently took all people into account, they took all experiences into account, and they came up with legislation that protects children under the age of 18. This is not a question of whether or not you're with the trans community. This is a question on whether or not you believe children should be able to get these irreversible surgeries. So again, despite being a Democrat, despite being a liberal who believes in human rights, I don't think that children should be able to get these irreversible surgeries. So I'll take all the heat that comes from this. I will be voting for this amendment and for OTPA if it passes. The bill in its original form, I think, is too broad, and I won't be voting for OTP, but I will be voting for OTPA if the bill passes, and for the amendment if it passes. And I hope all of you on this side of the aisle who definitely believe in human rights, who believe in protecting non-discrimination, would consider the irreversible surgeries that kids are going to be getting if this bill does not pass. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I urge you to join me in supporting.
Man, big shout out to this guy, man. Big shout out. We need more Democrats to come out and speak up against this craziness, man. They're targeting kids because they're the most vulnerable, and they know that when they grow up into this ideology, they're already mental slaves because they're being conditioned into it. You know, people like me, Hell, when I was a teen, brainwashed to death, man. I thought anytime somebody white said something to me, it was racist. I thought, everything that these people believe now, I pretty much thought the same thing until I started getting older and having my own experiences in life. And I'm like, yo, hold up. This 2 plus 2 right here is equaling 6. This 3 plus 2 right here is not equaling 5. This shit's equaling 11. What the fuck is going on? And I started putting shit together, man. And a lot of the stuff I was taught growing up just did not make sense. So you have to kick the brainwashing, man. You have to be a free thinker, man. Think for yourself. Go off of your experiences, not off the TV, what the TV is telling you. So like I said, man, videos like this is a breath of fresh air. Democrats aren't completely lost, from what I see. But man, they deep down the fucking rabbit hole. But like I said, man, big shout out to this guy, man. And y'all seen it like I seen it, man. I'm out.